Hello, welcome to my channel. It's been a hot minute since I have made a video, so I figured I would get on here and have a little chit chat. I'm doing my makeup because lately I've been feeling kind of shitty, so I thought I would do that, make myself feel better on the outside and film a little video at the same time. So today we're going to be going over all of the books I've read so far this year. Sorry, I cut my finger. Hurts. I've got a bare ass face right now. I've moisturized, did the whole 9 yards, showered, you know, feeling great, feeling fresh. So we're gonna get into it. We've got our handy dandy boba. It's a new place that just opened. My fiance got it for me. I'm going to be enjoying this while we film. I'm all for Save the Turtles, but these paper straws, they suck ass. Yum. Let's open Goodreads and we'll get started. Every year on Goodreads, I read like a lot of fan fiction because I'm depressed and that gives me serotonin. So every year I don't put that kind of stuff on my Goodreads because, you know, I'm like, embarrassing. But it's not embarrassing. Like, fuck it. If I'm gonna read it, it's going towards my Goodreads count. So I did that this year, which has actually been giving me a lot of happiness to see that number go up. I know it's like a super superficial thing and like whatever, but I love it. So I've read 35 books so far this year. That's a lie. I've read 36 because I just finished a book this morning. A lot of it's a lot of bullshit, but it makes me happy, so I'm excited about it. The first book that I read this year was Franco by Kim Holden. This is the third book in the Brightside series. I don't know if I talked about it because I didn't really post last year, but I read Brightside and Gus last year, which were two of my favorite books that I've ever read in my entire life. First of all, if you haven't read it, read it. It is unbelievably good. But that's not what this is about. This is about Franco. So Franco is the drummer in the band that Gus is in, who is Brightside's best friend. The beginning of this book takes place during like one of the one-off scenes from the second books, and that's where it starts, and then you kind of see the like movement of that. And he meets this girl. He's supposed to go on a blind date. It's awful. He meets this girl. Her name's Gemma. And she is pretty cool. She's also on a blind date, not doing well. He notices her and he's like, oh, she needs saving. And she's like, yep, thanks. He saves her. They have like a really good time, blah, 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 blah.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
He's a rock star. We all know how I feel about rock star romances. Chaos Pursues. Great book. I gave it 4 stars because it wasn't my favorite out of the series. There are a lot of things I was not too fond of. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the book. And then, what was my next book here? Room Hate by Penelope Ward, which was one of the books that I wanted to read from the only other video I've posted this year. It was 22 books I wanted to read in 2022. That was one of the books. So, starting out week, because I hated it. I hated it so much. There's like a lot of weird behavior. It was kind of like they wanted it to kind of so it kind of seemed like Penelope Ward wanted it to kind of be like a enemies to lovers, but wasn't really set on like going in on the enemies, you know. There's tension from shit when they were growing up and you don't really like learn about it till later, and then it's just kind of overlooked. Like it's never really dealt with. It's just like, oh, I didn't like you and this is why, but don't worry about that. We're gonna just move on with it. And I hate that in books. So again, this is like a little bit rock starry, which again, we know how I feel about that. I love a good rock star romance. So I had really high hopes, and like not to brag or anything, Penelope Ward follows me on TikTok. Why can't I talk? On TikTok. And I was like, okay, cool, because I've never like read anything by her, so I'm like, I'm gonna try it out, see how it goes. First book, wasn't for me, which is fine. And I ended up giving it like 2 stars, which is like really bad for me because I'm an aggressive high rater even when I hate books. Wasn't for me. Didn't care for it. Whatever. The smut in it, there was like 2 really good smut scenes, which unfortunately didn't make up for the rest of it for me. The next book I read was Lilac by B.B. Reed, which was also one of the 22 books that I wanted to read this year. This one I vibed with real hard. Again, another rock star romance. But this one is reverse harem. So usually I'm not really a fan of reverse harems because it stresses me out. Like, I think I've talked about that before. I'm a really visual thinker, so pardon my French, when there's a lot of dicks involved, I have a hard time like trying to figure out where everybody is and where everyone's going. So it overwhelms me. So I'm not really a huge fan of it. I can't like get the logistics of it, so I don't like it usually. This one I fucked with. It was super good. It follows Braxton, who, stupid name, first of all. She plays guitar, but she's not very like professional. Like, she doesn't have any credentials or anything. She just like plays guitar. She has like a band that she plays with at like folk festivals and shit. And she gets hired in to this like renowned rock band to play guitar because their main guitar player has died. They just think the vibes are not immaculate. So she goes in and there's like a contract stipulation where they're like, you aren't going to get signed if you don't figure out what the fuck's happening. Like, it's your job to essentially figure out their shit and fix it. And she's like, well, that's a lot of pressure. I'm not a fan of that. And they're like, yeah, it sucks. Sucks B. Do it. Smut scenes, immaculate. Done in a way where I could understand it. And I was here for it. I gave it, I think, 4 stars. Okay. And then, here's where my fan fiction starts coming. So, if you live under a rock, there's this fan fiction, you might have heard of it, called Duplicity. It's a Harry Styles fan fiction. It's mafia, rock star, the whole 9 yards. So I've been reading that for a bit. I started reading it because Steph Bower was talking about it on her channel, and I was like, you know what, I can fuck with it. I love Harry Styles, so I'm here for it. Yeah, so loved it. It's great. 10 out of 10. Think I'm probably gonna reread it in this lifetime because it's like top tier. It's bitchin'. Loved it. 5 stars. Gave me all the feels. When a fan fiction about Harry Styles can make you cry, you know what's up. Sorry, Allie just texted me. When you edit this, you'll see Allie. You're about to tutor. The next book I read was American Queen because, one, I've heard a billion good things about it, and then I got like a specialty edition with my Mystic box, so I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Excuse me. Girl, first of all, it's a Knights of the Table retelling, like the sword, you know, Arthur, Merlin, all that shit. So the book follows the girl who I can't remember her name anymore because honestly it wasn't that influential. I just like, a lot of it sticks to me, but whatever. So it's about her. She falls in love with this guy named Ash. They like hook up while at a party, like a business party, like her grandpa's like a political dude. He used to be like the vice president or something like that. So they're at this political party. She like spies because she's younger and no one takes her seriously. She hooks up with Ash. And then years later, she's like at a party. She's supposed to meet Ash. She meets this other dude. They have sex. She loses her virginity. It's a whole thing. And then years later, man's He's going up for president. No, he is the president of the United States now. What happens? She fucks them both. Full relationship. We're here for it. And then I read Falling for Rome by Gillian Archer, which was an arc that I received. I wasn't like super into it at first, but then holy shit did it take me for a ride. I thought it was gonna be a rock star romance, wasn't. It was just an actor. It's a marriage of convenience. They have a fake dating sitch because his brother's wife just died and he's trying to distract from the paparazzi kind of being up his ass. The politics in it, amazing. World building, great. Smut, not the best, but like I've read worst. Then I read Preacher Man by Jessica Kane. It's a lot. I was in like a bit of a reading slump, so I was like, I just want pure fucking smut. And I'd also just watched Fleabag, so I was a little bit on my like priest shit, so I was like here for it, but hated this one. Very weird. I can see why other people like it, because there's like the size difference kink, the priest thing, age gap. He's got some like troubled past, but again, it's only like 50 pages. So I think if this was like a full-blown novel, there's a chance that I would have been down for it, but as it stands, absolutely not. And then I read Fall by Kristen Callahan, also one of the books from my 22 books I want to read from 2022. This is the book that follows Jack's, another rockstar romance. I know what I like and I stick to it. So he is like known because he tried to fucking kill himself, and you know, it's got a bad rap because of it. So it's really good. Like, you can tell he has like a lot of issues, obviously, because of, you know, his mental health shit, and it's good. Yeah, I really liked it. The thing is with it though is I know that the whole thing, so he has really bad mental health issues, obviously, and his whole arc of things is like, I don't want to get close to her because everybody leaves eventually. Sorry, the bobas keep getting stuck in the straw, and I'm afraid that I'm going to choke like that video.
Oh, poke a hole in it. Oh my god, I choked on something!
Oh my lord. Smacks. Hates. Sorry, I'm texting Allie. I gave it 4 stars. But whatever. And then I read Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, which I'm pretty sure is also one of the 22 books. But I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not going to say full on. This is a Colleen Hoover book that I've wanted to read for like ever, but haven't gotten around to, and then I did, and regret not reading it sooner, because that shit is unbelievably good. Like, Heartbones is my very, very favorite Colleen Hoover book, and then it goes Hopeless. The main character, Guy, top tier. And Mans, who I can't remember his name because I can never remember anybody's name, also great. The only reason I remember Sky's name is because one of my employees is named Sky. Love it. And there's also a book in his perspective, which I haven't read, but I should. My sister's read it. She said it's really good. We'll get to it eventually, just not yet. So, 5 stars. Love it. The next book we read was Hooked by Emily McIntyre, which was one of the books that I needed to read for 2022. So fucking good. Oh my god. Peter Pan, like mafia retelling? Ish. It's like Big Boss kind of thing. This light is not doing me anything. It's giving stripes. Now we're dark as hell. So, sometimes trial and error is how you need to go. Today it's mostly error. Okay, I think we fixed so. Yeah, it's really good. It's harder. For sure, dark romance. It deals with like breath play and shit like that, so not for the faint of heart. But I was a fan, of course, because I I don't kink shame in this house. And then I went into a bit of a Planet Barbarians trip. So I did multiple of these this year because when I'm in a reading slump, that's like the main thing I want to read. So I read the 19th Planet Barbarian book, which is Barbarians Treasure, who is Megan and Cashel's story. So it's the beginning of the story, so it's a bit of like a flashback episode, if you will. I fucked with it. And then I read Torn by Carrie and Cole, who also follows me on TikTok. So I read a few of her books and I really, really like them. I really like this one. It's about Kenzie and her father's best friend. There's some weird, like, a lot of people had issues with this book because he was kind of like a father figure for her growing up, and then shit switched. So I had no issues. I fucked with it. I thought it was a fucking hoot. Don't question me. And then I read Wait and Hope, which is a Draco Hermione fanfiction. I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. It was really good. I was a fan. 4 stars. Here for it. Will continue to be here for it. If anyone has anything to say about it, I will fight them to the death. My name's Boo Boo. Boo Boo. Okay, anyway, here's a challenge. How long will it take me to get my fucking makeup done? The answer is forever. He choked on something.
Oh my god, I choked on something!
I figured it out. This kind of looks like shit. That's exciting for me. How many times am I going to say so yeah in this video? Should we do a counter? I'm going to do a counter. And then Terms and Condition by Laura Nasher came out, which is Declan's story. He's the brother of the main... Oh, that's increasing. The main love interest in the first book. It's very grumpy sunshine. This is he has to get married to fulfill his inheritance clause and have kids. So he and his secretary, assistant, whatever you want to say, get married. Her name's Iris. She's a fucking queen. We love her. She's dyslexic. We love that. We're gonna restart. We're gonna restart that one. Thank you. Actually, I might just be able to, hopefully. Yeah, it was really good. The, like, mutual pining was lovely. 100% would read again. 5 stars. And then I read Midnight Lily by Mia Sheridan. So this is the second book by Mia Sheridan I've read. The first one being Arch's Voice, which one of my favorite books ever. Midnight Lily, it's not it for me. I did not like it. This one I gave a 1 star, so that's how you know how much I don't like it. It was not my vibe. Very like psychological thriller-esque, but like it didn't exactly know where it wanted to go, I think. Maybe it's for people smarter than me, but I didn't like it. And then I read Full Tilt by Emma Scott. That book fucking kicked me in the throat and then like bundled me up and gave me some hot chocolate. It's very much sicklit. He doesn't have much time. Doesn't really believe in anything. Had been hurt before. And they fall in love. So bon. So fucking good. So I finished that book. 5 stars. All the way. And I was like, okay, I want to start the second one. But I wasn't emotionally prepared to start the second one. So I was like, okay, we're going to have a fat minute. And I went on TikTok to find a nice feel-good book, you know, a brother's best friend romance. They're my favorite. We're not going to go into the psychological reason because I don't understand it and I don't want to understand it, so we're going to leave it at that. Sound good? He's in the military in Scotland. He's in the Air Force, not the military. She's got a haunted past. He's got a haunted past. Together. Beautiful. It's called Hero by Jolie Vines. It's the 3rd book in the series. Fucking amazing. He's got his dick pierced. That's the thing. Yeah. Very good. Was here for it. Loved it. All In, which is the second Full Tilt book, because I'm feeling emotionally ready for it. I was indeed not emotionally ready for it. It's the 2 characters, not the 2 characters, it's 2 characters. Cassie, who's the main love interest in the first one, and his brother Theo, trying to deal with the aftermath of the events of the last one. Things aren't going well for anybody involved. See, this book didn't exactly give what I wanted it to give, but it was still unbelievably good. This one I didn't give 5 stars to. I think I gave it 4. And then we went into my second Planet Barbarian phase of the year. I read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the Ice Home books. Numbers 2 through 10. I read 2 through 10. They smacked just as hard as the OG series. Then I read Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. That one was a toughie. It also broke my heart in the worst and best way possible, and I never recovered. Kenna is an absolute fucking sweetheart. I heart breaks for her. Ledger, stupid name, great dude. I'm not gonna say anything about it because that's one of those books where it's very easy to spoil, and I do not want to spoil it for anybody. But the old Colleen Hoover twist got me. I sobbed like a little girl. 10 out of 10 quickly has become one of my favorites. And then the pièce de résistance. That's not the word. We read People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. Super good, but not as good as Beach Read. And I also don't really remember anything that happens in it, so I'm not gonna stand on that. I think I gave it 3 stars because, again, I think I rated it higher when I first read it, but then I changed my rating because I don't remember what happens in it, so I can't say that it's like one of my favorite books. So then we read A Touch of Rune, which is the second books in the Touch of... It's a Hades in Persephone retelling by Scarlett St. Clair. I didn't like this one as much as the first one. I think I gave it 3 stars. I'm not going to get into it. Doesn't really matter. Then we got into Electric Idol, which is the second Dark Olympus book by Katie Robert. I gave this one 5 fucking stars because it was unbelievably good. It has plus size representation without it being her whole personality, which I really enjoy, because I find a lot of the time when there's plus size representation in books, they make that their whole fucking personality trait, and I'm not here for that. As a plus size person, I don't fucking care. It's not my whole personality. It's not anybody's whole personality. It's not your personality. Have an actual personality outside of that, which they do with this. It's an Eros and Psyche retelling. I fuck with it. And then I read Forever Perfect, which is the 4th book in the Perfect series by Alison G. Bailey. Hey, Queens. So I finished doing my makeup off screen because Allie called me. And by finished, I mean I just did my eyes. Perfect, perfect, perfect. So next we read Without Merit, who is the favorite book of my sister. I was not a fan. Surprise, surprise. I gave it 2 stars. I'm gonna say why I didn't like it so Allie doesn't whoop my ass. 1, I didn't like the betrayal of depression. 2, the whole family irritated the shit out of me. 3, Merit irritated the shit out of me. And Sagan smacked. So there were a few really good things about it. There's this one quote, I'm gonna paraphrase it because I obviously don't have it memorized, where Sagan, who's like, I guess the love interest, is talking to Merit and is like, one person's shit doesn't take away from your own shit. Which is something that I very, heartily agree with. My own things that I've been through does not change the threshold of what somebody else has been through. Because something I could deal with might not be something somebody else can deal with, and vice versa. And I really appreciated that. I thought it was very wise, very smart, especially because this book is aimed for younger people. But I didn't like the book. So, sorry, Allie. Then we read The Fallout, which, again, is another Harry Potter fanfiction. It's Draco and Hermione. Gritty, it's great. Fucking love it. Here for it. 10 out of 10. Smut. Amazing. And then we went into another alien romance kind of thing. So I read the 11th Ice Home book, which is Mari's Mistake. 10 out of 10. I think I gave it 4 stars. And then we read Saving Verico by Victoria Evelyn, which is the 3rd book in the Cleon series. Clecianion? I don't know. I can't read. I liked this one a lot. There was a miscommunication trope though, which I wasn't here for. And then lastly, our final book. I finished it this morning. It is Twisted Love by Anna Huang. It was one of the 22 books I needed to read for 2022. It's the one I did that really fun edit for. And yeah, I fucked with it. I'm giving it 4 stars. It would have been 5 stars, but it had my least favorite thing in it. And that was... Say it with me. Pushing away the person you love because you think that you aren't good enough for them. So yeah, I was frustrated by that. But it's really good. I love. Brother's Best Friend. I'm gonna be completely honest though, I really thought that it was Mafia. So that is the 36 books that I've read so far this year. Hopefully in like a few months I'll be able to do another one and kind of show all the books I read there, or hopefully I can stay on my shit and do a few regularly so it's not as long as a video. But that's it for today. This is the finished look. Might chill around. Who knows? Maybe I'll go out. I don't know. Well, anyway, have a wonderful day. Bye.